Hello everybody, Keith here again. It's been a long time again. I've been trying to keep up with the maintenance of the plants. I've done a few repots, but that seemed to be all I was doing. And I didn't think that was very interesting to anybody, not even interesting to me, truth to tell. But today I'm going to do something that's a little bit different, and I thought it might be of interest to other people. These are my two Reed-stem Epidendrums. I've had this one, a red one, for a couple of red-orange, for a couple of years, and I've rebloomed it a couple of times. It started to get spotty leaves, and I tried several things, and in the end I sprayed it with a fungicide, and that seemed to stop it. And then a few new growths came up and they were clean, and they've remained clean ever since. This one though, all the new roots were growing out from, more or less going sideways. They weren't trying to go anywhere near the compost. So I decided it was probably time that I did something about that and repotted it. And I repotted that where are we? June this year, and it's now the 1st of December, so it's had 6 months in there. And I don't know how well we're going to be able to see this, but even, where are we? That one there, look, you can see the root is going down, and all the roots from all of the, trying to get you somewhere near where the light's showing. I've got a little some artificial light going on today because it's dull and dark and typical winter weather. But basically all the new roots that this thing is throwing, and these things throw a lot of new roots when they're happy, they've all gone straight down into the compost. So that sort of gave me, as I thought, a pointer as to what to do. So about 3 months ago, we went to our local Morrison's, and they got this one for sale. Never had one since, so quite why they got them then I don't know. It's white, bright whitey pink, and I've not done anything with it because it was in flower and I didn't want to excuse me, I didn't want to do anything that might put anything else at risk, so I've left it alone, kept it watered. But again, and you can see this quite clearly, all the new roots are all shooting away, they're not going anywhere. It's in what feels like a mix of bark and some other gums. Now so far we haven't got any spotty leaves. It's been growing. It's a slightly different hybrid I think, because the stems on this are much thicker than the other one, probably about twice the diameter. But whatever, it's grown even like this. But now with those roots going out again, I want to have a look what's in the pot, because oh dear, come here you blooming thing. That's the trouble with anything this tall on a narrow base, of course. It'll you've only got to breathe heavy and the blessed thing's gone. So let's have a look what's down inside the pot and see what we're going to find. Because as I say, I think that, well, that looks a lot better than I thought it was going to. The pot I think I can manage with again. But that, I think you can see, we've got quite a lot of what look like viable roots, and they feel like viable roots to me, they're nice and firm. But you've got this, I don't know what it is, sort of it's almost like standard compost, this is, and it's staying extremely wet. Now, yeah, I'll grant you that there's the roots have done all right in it, which may suggest that it needs more moist. These are supposedly in the Cattleya tribe, but these things would buy this. I mean, that's not very clever. But by and large, we've got some really nice roots on this. It's no wonder it's been doing okay. But nevertheless, these things are supposedly, as I understand it, part of the Cattleya tribe. But I don't think there's any doubt that it likes it a bit more moist. But whatever it is, that's just come away. But there's not a lot of bark in it. It's obviously been designed to work somewhere else. And I like my plants to dry out in not much more than a fortnight. You know, anything over a couple of weeks, and I start to think that you've got, as a rule of thumb, we've all got to use those from time to time. As a general rule of thumb, if you've got plants that are in a compost that's staying moist for more than a couple of weeks, then you're going to start to see rot. Something's not with it. That's, say, it's a rule of thumb. It isn't the be all and end all, but it's kind of my experience over the last 6 or 7 years now, I suppose, of keeping all kinds of orchids. When I had a Psychopsis, they like to be moist. What they don't like is to stay wet. It's really weird. Some of these things, oh yes, they like to be. Yeah, you read all the books. Yeah. They come from wet environments. They like to be wet. They, keep their feet wet and all this. And there aren't that many where that's true. Now I'm soaking it, partly to make sure everything's hydrated, but to try and avoid doing what I've just done and snapping any of the long roots when I try to get them to go back into this pot, because I think that pot will do. I'm going to use a mixture of bark perlite and moss, I think. If it likes to be moist, or stay moist for a little bit longer than normal, then I think some perlite and moss. And I've got a bit of moss in this bag which is left over from some earlier potting. I don't like wasting stuff. I'm Derbyshire, not Yorkshire, but I think we're close enough for it to have an influence. But yeah, let's put some bark in here. We'll see how well I can mix it. One of the difficulties when I find when I'm trying to do a kind of mixed media is trying to get a really good mix. So you've not got bits with just bark and bits with just moss. So actually trying to get something like that. Let's see if I can stir it a bit with this. That seems to be not doing too bad a job. Just want it to be moisture retentive. I don't want it to be the kind of thing that stays wet. Now, I've moved that this year. The other one, the one I've had for a while, yeah, you see that will move. Unfortunately, that one I've snapped. that one will move, so that's not great. I'm going to do something that Roger Frampton proposed years ago, and when you've got a plant where you've got a lot of roots, and we've always got to remember that orchids like to have their roots constrained by and large. It's certainly what I'm finding more and more. It's very, very easy to overpot. You think, oh, there's all these roots, what do I do with them? Oh, it's growing roots, it's great. Let's give it a hand and it can, yeah. But no, they really, really, really like to be tight. It gives them the chance to get to all areas of the compost, because as I keep saying, they don't like to stay wet. Even the ones that come from a more moist environment, not the cloud forest ones, I mean that's a different environment altogether. The Restrepia and the like, I don't think they like to be standing in water, but their environment is almost permanently wet because you've got the clouds rolling off the sea into the Andes and going high up, so they get rained on near enough every day to a significant degree. So yeah, their environment will be wet. So I've grown mine on the damp side. That's one thing I've repotted. I've got one of them in a small terrarium. I've actually bought it from a store called Ugly Plantling, and she sells the jewel orchids almost complete. There's nothing else. Basically, she doesn't sell anything other than the jewels. And I bought this pot. It's sort of an egg-shaped glass pot, and it's pretty good as a little terrarium, but I didn't do a good enough job. That's the top and bottom of it. I must have done something wrong in terms of trying to look after these plants, and I lost them. So I had this thing doing nothing for a little while I thought about it, and then I thought, well, while we've got these Restrepias about, I'll try putting one of those in keep all sorts of odd clips and things on here. That's not going to be big enough. That looks a bit too big. Let's try that one. But yeah, so it's done really well. But the big difference is that instead of being in a pot, it's just laying on a bed of moss. Just put moss and a little bit of perlite in the bottom of this this little terrarium, and I more or less took the thing out of the pot, and it and rested it on top, because I thought, well, you know, it's not going to get blown around, it's not going to get knocked around, it can find its own way, and it seems to be doing very happy indeed. It's growing really well. It's all nice new growth, and again it's growing closer to this new moss. So I think, alright, these I've not managed to get into the pot this time, but I'm hopeful now that we'll be able to guide any more roots that come down into the pot. They will, say, with a bit of luck, they'll go down. But I'm starting to get to a point where I'm beginning to think, well, you know, some of these plants, I'm doing something wrong. What am I doing wrong? The roots won't go in. I repotted one of my named phalaenopsis the other week for exactly the same reason. Lo and behold, I left it in the compost too long. The roots were in a poor state, but I got all these things sticking out sideways. So I soaked those and got them flexible, got those down into the pot, and it's happy as Larry now. It's taken off like a little bullet. Anyway, that is a no-ID Reed-stem Epidendrum hybrid. Been repotted for the first time out of what it came in. It appears to like it a little bit more moist than I was giving it credit for, but I had noticed, to be fair, that they like to be sprayed with all these roots that form anywhere. I mean, this thing will throw cakeys more or less anywhere up and down the stem, and when it's doing that, I used to just spray it with rainwater every day or every other day, and they seem to like that. So I suppose I should have realised that they liked it to be regularly misted, which is not something I normally bother with, but there you go. Anyway, hopefully we're going to be able to do some more videos of things in flower before long. I've got flower buds on some of my no-blade enzobriums. There's one or two things got flowers out, but that's a story for another day. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. I thought it might be a little bit different, and I'll look forward to seeing you whenever I get around to doing a new video. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you whenever. Bye.